So what hourly rate do you charge when you're first starting out? What if you already have intermediate or advanced skills and experience before going freelance? This lesson will review ways to help you figure out that perfect pricing for hourly rates. First of all, you have to do the research. Each one of you will be in a different industry, and finding that rate will largely depend on the current average rate for someone of your same skill level. You can research what other freelancers charge in a variety of places. First of all, scouring websites like Upwork.com and finding profiles with similar work experience and studying what they are charging. I would look at more successful freelancers with higher earnings, as those with lower earnings might find out they are charging too much. You can also ask other freelancers in Facebook freelancer groups, communities, and forums. It's a hot topic question where you can really find open people just trying to gather some data to make their own hourly rate determinations. There are also websites like ZipRecruiter, which gather data from people with your job title and location. When researching hourly pricing and salary information online, most of these websites will gather information from salaried in-house workers and not from freelancers. Freelancers will almost always charge a higher rate per hour than their salaried counterparts, simply because salaried workers are most often offered benefits like health insurance, retirement that's also a part of compensation that's not in their hourly rate. As a freelancer, you're responsible for all of your benefits, and that only comes from your hourly rate, hence why you notice freelancers charging 20 to 30% more than those salaried counterparts. After getting a good general range for what seems to be the going rate for other freelancers in your industry, let's start to get a little more personal. The next step is to create a target annual income for yourself. Make sure you download the worksheet for this lesson to work alongside me in these calculations. Let's first define our goal annual salary by figuring out our monthly income requirements. This would be what you'd like to make working full-time in our field. It has to be based on realistic expectations, industry averages, but also what you will need to make going freelance possible for you and your family. For some of you, only going part-time, this will be your goals for how much extra added income you'd like to add. Now that we figured out our monthly income that we'd like or need, let's figure out what we need to make to equal the benefits from our old job or the amount of benefits we'd like to have added to our salary, just like our full-time job. So let's say I need $1,000 for health insurance for my family of 5. This would be monthly. I would then add that to my monthly income figures, but I'd also like to start or match my current month retirement I get from my full-time job. So that would be $500. Lastly, we need to factor in taxes into the calculations. Every country will be different with taxes. In the United States, the salary would most likely fall in the 10% tax bracket, so multiplying my salary, not including benefits, as they're sometimes not taxed if you set up a retirement account, and I'm going to multiply that figure by 0.01. I get something close to about $400. So in my case, I round my number up just to be extra cautious and to make sure I'm factoring in enough for taxes. You always want to factor taxes in. Once we tally up our total benefits plus monthly salary we need, we subtract our taxes. Let's multiply that total figure by 12 to get our annual income goal. We'll want to find an hourly rate that can get us our annual income goals. Let's next figure out how many hours we'd like to work each month. Let's say I want a typical 40-hour work week. In the world of freelance, you can expect at least 1 hour each day to be non-paid activities. So instead of your standard 8 hours a day for the calculation, let's use only 7 hours a day to make up for that 1 hour of anticipated unpaid work, accounting, finding clients, etc. we would expect in freelancing. So 7 hours daily, and we want to work 5 days a week. That is 35 billable work hours per week. And we want to multiply that by 52 weeks to find our total work hours for the year. But we want to factor in a few weeks of vacation and sick days. Since freelancing can take its toll, we should give us more than what a standard job in our field would give. If the standard in the United States for vacation is 2 weeks, let's give ourselves 3. So instead of multiplying our hours by that 52-week number, let's multiply our 35 hours per week by 49 weeks, which equals 1,715 hours. That's how many billable work hours we have this year. This is a fairly realistic figure, our number of hours we have worked to produce money. We have our desired annual salary figured out as well. So let's take our total desired annual salary of $55,000 and divide it by our total available work hours for the year, which is 1,714. Once again, those seeking part-time freelance will still do this, but with less hours and a little bit lower numbers, but it all works out the same. The hourly rate we came up with is $32. This happens to line up with some research I was doing for beginner to intermediate level designers in Lillian's local area. This may not be the only rate we use when quoting clients, but it gives us a general idea or range of pricing that would help us reach our income goals. Instead of staying strict with this $32 number, we can create a safe range. We can move up and down on the scale depending on the client size, scope of the project exposure, and project type. Later on, we'll determine exactly what our hourly range will be based on this scale and learn how to factor in everything to pick that exact hourly pricing. So let's talk about our other pricing model first, how to figure out fixed project pricing.